Leg je voeten op, leg je voeten op, op, leg je voeten op. Leg je voeten op, oh, leg je voeten op. Leg je voeten op, op, leg je voeten op. Leg je voeten op, oh, leg je voeten op. En begin spring, spring, spring. Want liefde is een lied en jij moet zing, zing, zing. Oh, leg je voeten op en begin spring, spring, spring. Want liefde is een lied, kom laat ons zing. Het is tijd dat ons meer dankie zegt voor alles wat ons heeft. En voor die schoenen aan ons voeten en die kleren aan ons lijf en die kosties wat ons ziet. En dankie voor die weg waarin ik elke dag mag rijden. Alles hier die blijkse highways niet voor mij. Leg je voeten op en begin spring, spring, spring. Want liefde is een lied en jij moet zing, zing, zing. Oh, leg je voeten op en begin spring, spring, spring. Want die liefde is een lied, kom laat ons zing. En dankie voor elke nieuwe dag wat ons mag zien. En voor die hitte van die zon wat schijnt voor elke lieve in. En dankie voor die huis waarin ons woont hier in die stad. Al verlang ons naar die stilte van die veld of dankie zie. Leg je voeten op en begin spring, spring, spring. Want liefde is een lied en jij moet zing, zing, zing. Oh, leg je voeten op en begin spring, spring, spring. Want die liefde is een lied, kom laat ons zing. Oh, die liefde is een lied, kom laat ons zing. Oh, die liefde is een lied, kom laat ons zing. Leg je voeten op, leg je voeten op, op, leg je voeten op. Leg je voeten op, oh, leg je voeten op. Leg je voeten op, op, leg je voeten op. Leg je voeten op, oh, leg je voeten op. En we gaan spring, spring, spring. Want die liefde is een lied en jij moet zing, zing, zing. Oh, leg je voeten op en we gaan spring, spring, spring. Want die liefde is een lied, kom laat ons zing. Oh, leg je voeten op en we gaan spring, spring, spring. Want die liefde is een lied en jij moet zing, zing, zing. Oh, leg je voeten op en we gaan spring, spring, spring. Want die liefde is een lied, kom laat ons zing. Oh, die liefde is een lied, kom laat ons zing. Oh, die liefde is een lied, kom laat ons zing. Oh, die liefde is een lied, kom laat ons zing. Laat ons zingen.
Hey folks, welcome back to Chris Wyatt's Night Owls here on the original Chris Wyatt Africa channel at Real Chris Wyatt. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here. It's a pleasure to see you once again on the restored, after 23 months, consigned to the Gulag. I'm back from the Arctic wastelands of the Gulag, the Russian Gulag. Thank you for being here with me. Many of you have come over from the newer channel, which many of you have been following me on since this channel was unfairly sanctioned in April of 2021. We are back on this channel for now. We'll see what happens. This now is the home of Night Owls. Thanks for tuning in to us. By the way, Arctic is here. I see we were missing you earlier. I needed an aviator to help me out. Did you see what's happening in South Africa? The Civil Aviation Authority shut down operations at over 10 airports across the country, including Cape Town, Uppington, and George, because among other things, the instrument landing system, ILS, is not functioning properly. So isn't that a scary thought? For flights coming in, they can only fly VFR. That is a pretty frightening prospect. Arctic, were you aware of that? And if you can share some insight, I'm sure the audience would appreciate it. Pretty scary stuff there in South Africa. But the breaking news, the news of the afternoon, is the QAnon, the LMNOP Anon shaman, Jacob Chansley, has been released from federal prison and is now in a halfway house. Make no mistake about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a commutation of his sentence. This is not an effort to be kind or humane, because these bastards locked this man up in 11 months of solitary confinement for misdemeanor charges to fulfill their false narrative until their fraudulent January 6th commission could complete its fiction and release its report in effort to destroy Donald Trump. This man is a victim of the effort to destroy Donald Trump and the lies about America, demonizing 73 million Americans who voted for the former president, the largest number of votes ever achieved by a former president in his re-election campaign, and the largest number of votes ever achieved by any president in history, with the exception of the 81 million that Joe Biden got in that same election. Absolutely stunning. Barack Obama never came close to that. He only got 68 million in his best election in 2008, 63 million in 2012. Donald Trump got 63 million in 2012, and he got 75 million in 2020. Crazy stuff. But the LMNOP Anon Shaman Jacob Chansley now released and in a federal halfway house in Arizona in Phoenix. Now, make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, this is because of the entire narrative falling apart, the fraud that's been perpetrated on the American people and the world by the federal government of the United States, colluding with tech companies, coercing them and forcing them, cajoling them, collusion, coercion, and cajoling of the tech companies like Twitter, which we know for a fact, we've seen the evidentiary information that proves the criminal activities violating the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution by the federal government against the American people. And now Senate Bill 686, which intends to criminalize our speech and deny us our rights in violation of the First Amendment, and also the Fourth Amendment, and also other amendments of in the Bill of Rights. This is a shameful abrogation of the rule of law by terrified political elites, Democrats and Republicans, who seek to silence opposition voices. If you read that bill, you will find in Senate Bill 686 that it gives them the authority to publicly release your browsing history if they deem that it's in the national interest. What? Not a court, not a warrant. This is a violation of unlawful search and seizure. This will not stand the test of time. These people need to be exposed. This bill, this abomination must be destroyed before it ever reaches the floor for a vote. This is sick and twisted. The UN audit this week. So that's probably why they shut them down, because they're not compliant. Yep. Kentucky's having its own January 6th. I don't know what you're talking about there. Something happening there? Or is this the revenge? That's tomorrow. Revenge of the nerds is tomorrow. LMI5 Pence is here. Arctic, Brian Lawrenson. Well, it's nice you got the notification, Brian. They are removing my subscribers as quickly as they can. I've gained about a dozen subscribers today and lost 10. So, yeah, that's just odd. Now, over the past 2 years when this channel wasn't on the air, I lost an average of 3 subscribers per day. Now I'm losing an average of 10 or more subscribers per day while the channel's active again. Same games, different date, same games. Hester Coates is here. Dylan Combrick, Rolf Corver. And Amanda Delport is just subscribed. Amanda, of course, we know from the other channel. Thank you, Amanda, for being here. Appreciate it. John Hinge is here. John, good to see you again. Yep. Yeah, so that should be here, not her. Sorry about that. Yep. So, again, it's about 75% of the people here are people from the new channel. So I'm getting about 25% picking up people from this. I don't know how many people are getting notifications on this channel that are existing subscribers. So I don't know what's going on there. But we'll see how it goes. But anyway, Jacob Chansley. The correct result here would be a massive lawsuit against the officials who colluded to keep exculpatory evidence out of the court, and sanctions and criminal actions against those criminal prosecutions against members of the House of Representatives, the Capitol Police, and the January 6th Commission, who prevented 51,000 hours of potentially exculpatory evidence. Some of it is exculpatory. We've seen it. Of Jacob Chansley's actions inside the Capitol building and his interaction with Capitol Police, whose instructions he followed when they were given without hesitation. Yet he was locked up like a terrorist for 11 months in solitary confinement to break him. He now has mental health issues. They've destroyed this man's life to get Donald Trump. They will stop at nothing, calling people racist, bigots, lying about their history, fabricating stories about them, and making up nonsense. They've done the same thing against the Proud Boys. They've done the same thing against the Oath Keepers. They're doing the same thing against anybody who walked into that building, all of whom shouldn't have walked into that building. But that's what's going on here, folks. Jacob Chansley's sentence should be vacated by a federal judge as it was invalid. His defense attorneys were prevented from seeing exculpatory evidence. And what kind of by the way, what kind of defense attorneys are these? Number one, why aren't they on the screen all the time screaming for the Human Rights Commission, for Amnesty International to get their act together? Where were these attorneys not requesting discovery for video footage of the Capitol? They knew there was video footage. Why did they not ask for it? They saw the video footage being presented in the fake Salem witch trial, the January 6th Commission. There was evidence from inside the Capitol building. Why did they ask for all the footage? What kind of useless attorneys defended Jacob Chansley and the January 6th political prisoners? Which ones? Now, people should infer that there weren't people who committed serious crimes that day. Absolutely. I have video footage of some of them trying to incite the crowd to commit crimes, and the crowd looked at them like they're from freaking Mars. What's your problem? We respect law enforcement. We don't break the law. Got it on video footage, but the FBI has no interest in that whatsoever. All they wanted was footage of people entering the building or inside the building. Of course, anybody who had footage of people inside the building is also subject to prosecution. No journalism defense there. But people outside the building who didn't enter the grounds, who did not enter the building, they weren't interested in any footage that showed people trying to incite the crowd. People who were not Trump supporters. But anyway, such is what's going on there, folks. Welcome back to the program. Could his defense attorneys have been bought? I don't know about that, John. That's a possibility, but they're certainly incompetent. And where are the civil libertarians from the American Criminal Liberties Union, the Southern Poverty Law Center, or as I prefer to call it, the Southern Poverty Bullshit Center, and the American Criminal Liberties Union? Where were they at? They were silent in this, proving that they don't care about civil liberties. They only care about leftist democracy crushing action. That's all they care about. Boy, they don't hesitate to scream about the death penalty and how it's unfair to put someone to death after 25 years who murdered 28 women by strangling them in California. They'll defend that person to the end of the days. But they won't stand up for ordinary Americans who've been maliciously and erroneously prosecuted when the government has hidden exculpatory evidence. The case should be thrown out. His conviction should be vacated by a federal judge, and he should have a big pocket lawyer who will sue these criminals. Listen, Jacob Chansley should be charged with a crime, a misdemeanor crime of trespassing. That's what he did. He walked into the Capitol building without a badge and did so unknowingly. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse, but he is not a violent felon. 11 months in solitary confinement. He has mental health issues now. And now he lives in a halfway house as a convicted criminal. Can you believe this abuse of power? This is like the Soviet Union. This is like Prague in 1968. This is Budapest in 1956. This is Berlin in 1953 and again in 1956. The hell is going on here? This is Moscow in 1936. This is not a representative republic, a constitutional democracy. This is a scam. And the frauds who sit in Washington, D.C., now, you know the latest thing? Now they want to put on the census form asking if you're black, did you have ancestors who were slaves? What the hell is that all about? First off, most black Americans can't prove that they had slaves because they don't even know their history. They've never taken the trouble to actually do the genealogy. Only a small number of Americans do genealogy, and even smaller percentage of black Americans do it on the false premise that there's no records. Well, that's a lie. That's also a fairy tale. There are lots of records to indicate the origin of black Americans. Now, the trail peters off when they arrive from Africa in most cases, but not entirely. But there are records of many black Americans, particularly those who were enslaved. Now, it's true that there are no names in the census before 1860 of black Americans. They're just listed as slaves. But you can trace your family history, as the program with Henry Louis Gates has proven. Discovering Your Roots, I think it's called. Yeah. Anyway, now they want to put that on the federal census form, on our tax form, not the census form, on the tax form. The IRS is going to ask black Americans. Well, first off, who's black? I came from Africa 180,000 years ago, but my ancestors came from Africa. Am I black? Do I get credit? My ancestors were Irish who were enslaved in the Caribbean by the British. Not indentured servants. Don't fall for that fairy tale. They were slaves, bred with Africans to create mixed race and the status of the mother, which is slave. Do I get compensation for that? No. And I don't expect compensation. It's ludicrous. Nobody today had anything to do with that. Nobody today profits from that. And I don't want to hear this, well, these companies have been around for hundreds of years. No. The profits of a company that existed during the slave trade are not fueling or providing for a company today or supporting the jobs. Current revenues and profit are what are doing that. Or no profit, which means they go out of business. This nonsense needs to stop. and it is time for pushback. It is time for pushback, folks. I'm having a little trouble here with my TikTok. It's acting all goofy here. It won't give me status of a video I tried to upload here. Very weird. So I'm trying to see if it's loaded now. Just give me a second here. Oh, it has loaded finally. There we go. 5 people seen already. I didn't get a chance to make another one. So I'm doing that on Liberty Ascendant. It's my new channel on TikTok. I realized TikTok, after what happened to Ronaldo, I better have some backups on there. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, folks. Shaman also asked people to leave peacefully. Yes, he saw that. That's right. And that was covered up. That was exculpatory evidence hidden by the January 6th Commission and hidden by the Capitol Police and hidden by the FBI. Yeah. What about the conduct of the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Muriel Bowser? Muriel Bowser, in denying the offer of 10,000 National Guard troops to help defend the Capitol building, protect it on the 6th of January. She refused that. What about the show nonsense of Muriel Bowser, who has not been held to account for her actions and her failures that day? What about the actions of Nancy Pelosi, responsible for security on the Capitol grounds? Bear in mind, folks, that the executive branch has no authority at the Capitol grounds. They don't have any legal authority. The FBI, which works for the executive branch, doesn't have authority on the Capitol grounds. The people with authority for the Capitol grounds for security is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Capitol Police, who report to the Speaker of the House of Representatives. It is under the jurisdiction of the Capitol Police, the grounds of the Capitol building and the Rayburn office building next to it. That's who's responsible for it, not the executive branch. So Trump can't simply put troops there. He has to get permission. And he asked. And Muriel Bowser, the mayor of D.C., and the Capitol Police turned him down. Now, why did they do that? Why did the Federal Bureau of Investigation ignore reports from Parler on the 19th of December, which they responded to on Boxing Day, the 26th of December, and shared that information back to Parler, asking for more information, more accounts, and thanking them for their cooperation? Why was that information, which was also shared by Parler with the National Counterterrorism Center, voluntarily, of their own initiative, their own volition? Why is there an investigation into why the FBI and the National Counterterrorism Center took no action? Why is there no investigation into the failures and intentional actions of Muriel Bowser, who made a big propaganda story about how she was calling out the Guard because of dangerous Trump supporters? Of course, the reason she called out the Guard, only 100 of the 3,800 guardsmen available to her, 100. The reason she called them out was because Antifa physically assaulted and beat white tourists in the streets of the Capitol the night before. People who had nothing to do with Trump, nothing to do. They're visiting Washington, D.C. in January and beaten in the streets by Antifa. No arrests made. That was the premise she made to make the big statement that she's calling out the Guard. Of course, she didn't call out the Guard. She activated 100 guardsmen. That's a joke. It's an absolute joke. 500,000 people on the mall, and you have less than 100 Capitol Police wearing bicycle helmets. Bicycle helmets, not riot gear, not body armor, bicycle helmets with nightsticks, not even firearms. And bicycle racks put up as a so-called barrier. You erect a tower 100 feet in the air for television crews for Inauguration Day, which is 2 weeks away. It doesn't take 2 weeks to go out and screw together metal pipes, put the planks on there, build the platform up, and test it. It takes 8 hours to do that. And 2 weeks before the inauguration, it's already set up on the steps of the Capitol building on the 5th of January. And then, strangely, it's not defended. It's not locked. It's not protected from people climbing up it. Ask yourself why. Why? Are they this stupid? I mean, did Muriel Bowser actually think that calling out 100 guardsmen was going to ensure civil order? Did the Capitol Police think that was appropriate when they approved 5 permits? They approved 5 permits for protests that day on both sides of the Capitol, the east and west side, which is highly unusual. Why not just the west side where the bulk of the people would be and prevent them from coming in the east side? Concentrate your forces on one side and have a relief force. Why would they wear bicycle helmets, no body armor, and not have firearms? Why would that happen? Are they that incompetent? Why would they refuse to take action when Parler warned them of potential sedition taking place? Why would they cover that up? Why would Amazon cancel the contract with Parler falsely claiming that Parler facilitated the attack on the Capitol building. Yet Facebook actually had hundreds of accounts that did facilitate the events on January 6th, and they weren't suffering any consequences. Ask yourself why Parler was intentionally destroyed by Amazon. Ask yourself why the Capitol Police were not armed properly and not even wearing protective equipment. They should have been wearing basic protective equipment. Ask yourself why Muriel Bowser made a big show of calling up the guard when she has 3,800 guardsmen at her disposal and she called up 100. Ask yourself how it is that over 500,000 people were on the Capitol that day on the mall, and despite their best efforts, they can come up with less than 1,000 people, just a few hundred people that they've arrested, almost all of whom simply entered the building when the police let them in. Ask yourself this. Ask yourself that. Solid Steenkamp, good to see you again, man. I was wondering where you were. And I got the Irish slaves in common, my mom's side of the family, hence my red hair and my daughter and granddaughter. Okay, Leah, thanks for sharing that. Kilometers per hour, good to see you again. All right, so look, we got more people who are on this channel that did not know. Hey, Mala's there. If there's welcome back, thank you. 37% of the 30 votes, that means about 10 of you, 10 or 11 people here are rediscovering me on the channel. Thank you for that. That's awesome. So that means the audience we had last night didn't show up that are regular viewers. So shame on them who are not here. But thanks for those who've shown up tonight. We've got to grow back this channel and make sure people know it's alive and nourish it and see where it goes. Anyway, but there you go. Thank you so much for being here. 82 views, 31 likes, 34 people currently here. Bit smaller than last night. I think we actually hit 50-some people last night on the stream. But thanks for tuning in, folks. I do appreciate you being here. Ask yourself these questions about January 6th. This is not a conspiracy. This is simply a statement of ask yourself these questions. No conspiracy theory, no allegations of this, that, and the other. But all of this doesn't measure up. Now, this isn't crazy stuff like the Nashville shooter had on red streaks and flames on their shoes, and here they're black. That's not that kind of idiocy conspiracy. These are actual legitimate questions from a security standpoint. What happened on January 6th? Why was Jacob Chansley locked up for 11 months in solitary confinement? Did he have a history of violence? No. Did he have weapons? No. Did he injure someone? No. Did he murder someone? No. Did he steal something? No. Did he destroy something? No. Why was Jacob Chansley locked in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day for 11 months, other than to break him or prevent him from speaking to the public? Ask yourself that. Why is a man who did not enter the Capitol building now serving a 7-year federal conviction in prison for not entering the Capitol building? What is going on there? What is going on? Thankfully, we have Tucker Carlson. We have others who have a voice who are raising these questions. Those of us who are shadow banned and kept off the radar screen have raised these questions since the very beginning. Simply ignored. It takes courage to stand up to a corrupt government that is imprisoning and abusing its citizens. It's pretty frightening here, folks. The IRS is asking black Americans if they had slave ancestors. Why? What business is of the IRS? The Internal Revenue Service is supposed to collect revenue from taxes and distribute it to the federal government. Nothing more. Nothing more. Something very rotten going on in Washington, D.C. Very, very rotten, folks. Very rotten. Dylan's here. Good to see you there. Kevin Nicklin, good evening to you. So we peaked here at 40, I think. Yep, 40 people here, and now we're dropped to 29. Where's everybody going, man? Am I dropping off here? Disappearing. 33 here now. Maybe you're having trouble with the connection. Anyway, so welcome back. But breaking news, the LMNOP Shaman, Jacob Chansley, released from federal prison, now currently in a halfway house in Arizona as he transitions back to life. But as a convicted felon, a federal judge must hear his case. An attorney must step forward to defend this man who was a political prisoner. You see, I think that perhaps maybe, what's his name there? Alan Dershowitz ought to do it. Pro bono. Step forward and defend Jacob Chansley. Alan Dershowitz should file a lawsuit against the federal government for the failure to release exculpatory evidence indicating the innocence, or at least mitigating the sentencing of Jacob Chansley. Also, there should be an investigation into the treatment of political prisoners in the D.C. prison system. Why these people who committed crimes on federal property are in the D.C. prison in the first place is wrong. Everyone who committed a crime on federal property should have been remanded to a federal correctional facility, not a District of Columbia facility where they've been abused by racist wards, racist jailers who assaulted them because of their skin color and have denied them privileges and denied them food and abused them. This has been revealed by repeated visits. Also, where does the D.C. Correctional Authority get the right to ban members of Congress who oversee the District of Columbia from visiting prisoners, denying members of the Senate, members of the House, the opportunity to speak to political prisoners in the D.C. Correctional Facility? This is an insane abuse. Yet, when convicted rapists and pedos and murderers appeal their convictions for murdering dozens of people, raping dozens of women, diddling dozens of children, the American Criminal Liberties Union, the Southern Poverty Law Center, particularly if they happen to have the right skin pigmentation, but not exclusively, are there on the scene demanding justice for their criminal, rapist, murder, and child diddler clients. Yet people answering the call of the First Amendment to right to peacefully assemble and seek redress from their government, hoodwinked into walking into the Capitol building and trespassing, locked into solitary confinement for 23 months, disappeared like Soviet citizens in the Gulag. Why is this allowed? This isn't democracy. This isn't freedom. This isn't constitutional republic. This isn't the rule of law. This is malicious use. Let's talk about what's going on with Trump. Donald Trump being prosecuted by the Manhattan District Attorney, who ran on the premise that he would prosecute Donald Trump and then refused to do it, but then changed his mind over a misdemeanor charge, which the statute of limitations expired over 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Trumped up into, no pun intended, a felony charge for which the statute of limitations expired 18 months ago. There is no crime here. There is no legitimate prosecution of Donald Trump on this charge. If you want to find something else. Where is the outrage over the fraudulent, cooked up narrative of the Russia collusion narrative? Never happened. New York Times still walking around with its Pulitzer Prizes, proudly sharing them with people. This criminal, violent, immoral, well, those are wrong terms. Let me correct that. Not criminal, not violent. But it's immoral. This immoral possession of a Pulitzer Prize in journalism for reporting lies. Listen, I could write a fiction novel. Will you give me a Pulitzer Prize for hard-hitting journalism? That's what they did with the New York Times over the Russia collusion narrative, which is completely debunked, completely proven to be fraudulent in entirety, cooked up by Hillary Clinton and the Democrats with a fake British spy making stuff up, destroying the foreign policy of this country, embarrassing this nation, and handicapping a presidency for 3 years. This is not real, except it is. It's real, folks. It's real. Just listening. Glad to see you on YouTube, Chris. I listened to you on Sunday. Big Day Live. Great talk. Andre, were you on this channel originally? Andre, were you here before? I never left, man. Never left. YouTube sanctioned this channel and sent me to the Gulag for 23 months. I appealed it immediately. I was told to foot-sec, get stuffed. When I told them that the video that they removed my channel for didn't exist, I had deleted it. I published the video. It was conformed to community standards. They subsequently changed community standards, which then made that run afoul. I forgot about the video. It sat on my account for 6 months, 4 months after they changed the rules. And then 5 months after they changed the rules, or 3 months after they changed the rules, I realized it was there. I deleted it along with 42 other videos that now might be in violation because they changed the rules, but there's no grandfathering. So I deleted them. 1 month later, they removed my channel unceremoniously and accused me of violating community standards. But the video's not there. I can't even get it. So anyway, now that the channel's back, they've done it to 5 more videos, all of which I had previously deleted on the on this channel before it went away. So they haven't sanctioned me for that, but they just deleted them. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. If you're telling me you've changed the community standards and now my video violates them, I don't like you removing them, you should give me some time to download the video and say, hey, download it. You've got a week, and then we're going to remove it, but you can't publish it because it violates our standards now. That would be fair. But at least they're just deleting them. 5 videos now they've removed and said I can appeal them. But I'm not going to appeal the videos. I don't really care. I'm not going to appeal that stuff. Stop harassing me for the old content. If it violates your rules that exist now, please just politely tell me, give me an opportunity to download it, then remove it. I won't publish it. As a consequence of the capricious behavior of YouTube, when this channel was restored, I spent about 6 hours the first day and yesterday going through my channel and removing. I had 1,786 videos or 89 videos on the channel, which you could see. Now you can see just over 700. Why? Because I removed 1,100 videos. All of my live streams from Stray Voltage, anything that was remotely related to the choosing of 2020, I removed those. The Trump rallies, the Republican National Convention, I removed all of those. They're no longer there. And then I went back and I demonetized any video that was listed as limited advertising. They did it to all my videos, regardless of what the top. I could have talked about puppies and unicorns, and they would have put limited advertising because they were harassing my channel back then. So I just went back and demonetized all those videos. That took time. So if you go to my channel now, you will see that I have just, I think it's 700 some videos available to the public. Let me take a quick look here, folks. 752 videos. That's down from 1,789 2 days ago. Yep. So we're down to 700 videos. Yep. And that's just out of an abundance of caution, ladies and gentlemen. Besides, those things are dated now. I mean, my Stray Voltage was of the moment, of, just like this Night Owls, it's now. It's not really applicable in a week or 2 weeks or 2 years from now. So it's no harm, no foul, but it makes it look like I haven't done a lot of production. I've done 1,700 videos on this channel, and on the other channel, I have to look at the number there, I think it's 1,300. I've got almost 5,000 videos that I've done, of which 2/3 of those are live broadcasts. That's a lot of broadcast over the past 2 years. Launches, breaking news, Arvada shooters, Boulder shooters, then election coverage, the events in Brockenfell, Senecal, the live streaming of the Cape Town fires, the live streaming of the insurrection in 2021 in South Africa, the Witkois Monument ceremony. The list goes on and on. I have done probably about 5,000 videos now, folks. Over 4,000, approaching 5,000 videos, prepared videos. It's a lot of time. I have made some money off the channel, but it's a token amount for the amount of that. What my labor rate is for consulting services, the amount of money I made off YouTube is a joke compared to what I get for consulting. So yeah, I've done it as a labor of love. It was funny, on the last trip when I was in South Africa, I kept getting asked this question by lots of staff. What's your angle? Why are you here? What's this all about? Well, that's my business, but since you ask, I have no angle. I'm here for open discourse and for people to be critical thinkers and ask the hard questions. I believe in this document, and if it were applied to the whole world, I wouldn't mind. The right to inalienable natural rights, unalienable natural rights, God-given rights, rights that man has no authority over, freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, freedom of worship, the right to seek redress from your government, which exist because of your generosity. These are rights everyone should have. Now, that's what my agenda is, for those who want to know what my agenda is, because people are asking that all the time. So curious. Hereby confer honorary citizenship to the Republic of South Africa upon you, Chris. Thank you. Well, thank you, Andre. Thank you. Did you answer my question? Can you merge the channels? No, you can't do that, Matt, and I'm not going to do that because I think this channel is still shadow banned, and also I think that they're looking at it very closely. I don't want to jeopardize the new channel. I worked very hard to get to 10,000 subscribers over there, and people have been very loyal, and I don't want to jeopardize that. You may have noticed that my content is strongly, severely censored, self-censorship on the newer channel. Very careful what I talk about. I don't spend much time on the trans issue. I don't spend much time talking about January 6th. I don't spend much time talking about choosing events because YouTube will come after you if you deign to talk about those topics for the most part. On this channel, I'm going to try to go forward and build on it. We'll see what happens. But it's not too much to ask people. I mean, people are subscribed to hundreds of channels sometimes. Asking you to subscribe to 2 channels is not a big deal. That's all I'm asking. It's not a big ask. I'm not asking you to be a member of either channel. I'm not asking you to super chat, although you're welcome to super chat. We like super chats. Actually have some super chat revenue on this channel already. In fact, let me take a look and see if it's come up yet because we're a few days behind. So yeah, we got 1 day of super chat revenue. Woo, cool beans. So on the 28th, which is the first day, we got Super Chat revenue. So it's already there. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, and I've made 5 cents off advertising. 5 cents off advertising. That's funny. That is so funny. My Zimbabwe independence, 41 years on, I've actually made 4/100ths of a cent. 4/100ths of a cent. That's funny. That is funny. Anyway, yeah. So, So that the channel is monetized. You can do super chats, and people have done them already. Let me just look and see. We had some super chats the other days. I haven't turned on the memberships here, and that's intentional. I'm going to wait. So Arctic gave. This is yesterday. Arctic, Mr. B, Marauder, Brett Sessoms, yeah, and Rhino Palm. Let me see. If it doesn't give the date here, yeah, it doesn't. You have to remember. Oh, there's the date, 28th. So, oh yeah. Oh no, that's. Wait a second. Wait a second. They're telling me I made $19 on that. That's crap. And there's yesterday. Yeah, so the rest goes back to 2021. So there's only one day listed here for revenue. Okay, yesterday somebody gave $20. So there's $10 right there. That's another 20. That's, yeah, there's the YouTube is ripping me off here, man, the exchange rates. Anyway, but super chats are available on this channel, and ad revenue is also available on this channel if you watch the ads, so feel free to do it. But I don't make much money off of South African ads because the rate is so much lower. So much lower. But anyway, folks, yeah, so you can super chat on this channel if you want. It's appreciated. I'm not going to beg for super chats. We'll leave that to Ronaldo and Scott Balson to do. So let's Team Comp. It's great to see you again, man. Have we not seen you in a long time? Or I thought we saw you on the new channel. I'm just drawing a blank now, whether I saw you on the new channel or not. But anyway, so let me get to the chat over here. I'm falling behind here. And then it's rare for from another country to take an interest in us. Recognition. Thank you, Andre. Undesirable. Sure. Hank Klopper. Hank, Mr. Rugby himself, 40 Rand. Hank is the man single-handedly responsible for some of the biggest names that I've interviewed on this channel. And let's toast Hank for the super chat and for the effort to get me interviews on the channel. Oh, and there's Call Me Novak. Hey, thank you very much for that one, Andre. 21 Rand. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. There's 2 super chats. That's almost enough to buy. Well, it's enough to buy one of these even after YouTube takes its cut. So thank you for that. We are 2 days from the end of the month, today and tomorrow, and hopefully we can get some more revenue on the other channel. See, that's the thing. I can't just look at both channels now that I've got them. But, Ronaldo was making fun of the fact that I have so many channels and trying to compare me to Loving Lunacy. No, I don't have many channels for backup. I have my rugby channel because it's a separate brand. I created that, Rugby Ascendant. We're approaching 3,000 subscribers on Rugby Ascendant, by the way. And I have Colonel Chris Wyatt because I lost this channel, so I restarted. So that's 2. I wound up creating the Paladin channel when I got censored because I felt they were going after my other channel, and that's there. And then this channel was restored. So that's why I have all these channels. I will devote my efforts primarily to 3 channels on YouTube. At Real Chris Wyatt, that's this channel with 21,000 plus subscribers. At Colonel Chris Wyatt, which is the news channel that I've been on for the past 23 months, and Rugby Ascendant, which will be busy tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. It's a big rugby weekend, folks. Oh, my goodness. I am going to be knackered again. So here are the games that I tentatively have played. Call the Cheetahs versus the Pumas, and I have to go back and change my Super, but that's tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time, so news tomorrow will be on early here on the other channel. So Free State versus the Pumas tomorrow, and then I'll be covering on Saturday Toulon versus the Cheetahs. And that time hasn't been set. Sharks versus Munster, that time hasn't been set. And the Stormers versus Harlequins. I think they've set the times for all those. And then probably on Sunday, I'll cover Rugby New York Ironworkers versus Rugby ATL. So that's Major League Rugby, Currie Cup, and the Champions and Challengers Cup this weekend. URC is on a break right now while the Champions and Challengers Cup takes place. So, yeah, there you go. Night Owls at 8 a.m. South African time Saturday, the ultimate April Fool's joke. Yeah, that would be funny, wouldn't it? That would be funny. Rare even for a South African to take an intelligent interest. That's true, Mel. That's true. Anyway, we had a lovely conversation earlier on the news program in which I spent some time. We had a huge audience, over 100. That's pretty cool. Some of that driven by people from this channel rediscovering me and coming over and subscribing to that channel and joining us for the news. The other reason I can't explain why people were there. But anyway, about 37% of the people came from here, which was cool. So We talked a lot about history of South Africa on that broadcast when we started out. Also talked about the history of the Great Trek. I did a video on this channel visiting the Voortrekker Monument. Some of you may have seen it. It's slowly growing, getting viewers now. It's at 555. It was at 502 when I got ready for this broadcast a short while ago. So now it's at 555. But that's a pretty cool video. I put a lot of time and effort into it, folks, and I hope that people appreciate it because it really was a big deal putting that time and effort into it. So anyway, but you can go check that video out at your leisure when this is over if you'd like. It's about, what, 6 minutes or something like that. And I start the video saying I'm at the Voortrekker Monument. Now, this was on the 17th of February, I think it was. And went there, went to the Voortrekker Monument, walked around, took photographs, saw the new memorial for the war dead from the war from 1960 up until, well, actually it goes back from the whole South African thing, but all those lost in combat. And yeah, that under the old South African government. So I saw that, took photographs, took video from in front of the Voortrekker Monument, up on top of the Voortrekker Monument, and then looking down inside. So all that's compiled along with a history of where the idea came from back in 1888. Paul Kruger went to an event in Natal, and it was first discussed in 1888, building a monument to the Voortrekkers, a mere 50 years after the Voortrekkers had moved up into the Free State, Transvaal, and Natal over the Drakensberg. But it wasn't started until 1937. And anyway, so that's in there. I think you'll find it interesting. I hope you like it. I'm working hard on my video editing skills, even though I'm not a videographer. I'm working on it, and I think that this is a video that shows I put some good effort into it. Nice transitions, I think, and the music selection, I think, is pretty darn good. Both songs that are in there, and neither which is a copyright strike, so I'm good to go. And they're actually, I think, very appropriate for this video. So I hope you enjoy that Voortrekker one. Courtney McBride asked me endlessly to make that video when I finally got around to doing it. Also, last night I produced a video from the Bapo people from Northwest Province who had marched on the Union buildings in Cape Town when I was there on the 16th of February, and they were demanding that the Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Ministry under Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma stop interfering in their affairs. Yeah, so they're basically seeking self-determination, and they were angry. So I put up a video of them presenting their demands in English and in Tswana to a representative office of the presidency on the steps of the Union building. And then I have an interview with them afterwards, and I'll edit and get that up sometime soon. So there you go. Also, my interview on the other channel, that's what I'm talking about, the at Colonel Chris Wyatt, that channel with former President Ian Khama of Botswana. That interview didn't do particularly well when I loaded it up on the 28th of February, just a couple hundred views. And then it languished. It got about 600 views, but suddenly in the last 48 hours, it surged to about 2,000 views. People are telling me that apparently President Khama was on SABC, and maybe that's what's driving it. That would make some sense. So, cool beans. I hope he goes on there, back on there again. Do you use Filmora for your video editing? Yes, I do use Filmora. That's correct. How did you know that? Were you just guessing? I use Filmora for my editing. Wondershare's Filmora 12, which 11 had lots of bugs in it, but 12 is pretty good. Yep, that was on a recommendation from Yanni van der Walt, who's in the tech business. I have other software, but it all sucks. None of it's very good. It's like OBS. I'm not really a fan of OBS. Looking to see what this other program I have here is, another editing suite here. It just doesn't get it done. I don't like it. But Wondershare from Filmora it's technologically advanced sufficiently to make it worthwhile, but not too complicated for the novice user, but not insulting to the intermediate or advanced user. So that's why I like it. But I had a lot of trouble with it for a while there. Now I'm really finding it useful. So Gus says, Vid is very professional. Soundtracks amazing. Well, thank you, Gus. Thank you. Bye, donkey. Namaste. Thank you. I thought it did a good job on it. I sent it to the Pet Zoo film crew to get his opinion because he is a filmmaker. So, cool. Cool beans. Ooh. Fishing trip. Wow. Man. Big tigerfish was caught. Man, oh man, oh man. Cool beans. I have an update, folks. Giselle begins her chemotherapy on Monday. Yeah. So, wow. For those who don't know, Giselle, the singer of note that I bring on the program here, we've interviewed. I've met with her a few times, and her husband, Johan Eisel, as well as play her music on this channel and the other channel, which I have the copyright for. YouTube doesn't seem to recognize that, but I do. I've shared it with them. They ignore it. But anyway, Giselle, who's originally from Grootfontein in Namibia, grew up over there and actually was childhood friends with Adam Levine's wife, who Beata, who is a Namibian by birth. Anyway, Giselle was supposed to do a public appearance with me in Pretoria East, was probably going to be at the Boer Comboys restaurant, but we didn't do it on the 15th of February. The reason we didn't do it, well, first off, a lot of my viewers were not happy that it didn't happen. They thought maybe they flaked off on me, but it turns out, which I couldn't share with people at the time, is that Giselle has been diagnosed with lymphoma. She has cancer in her blood, in her spleen, and elsewhere, and she needs expensive medication to help take care of that. Of course, the medical care in South Africa isn't fair to everyone, but particularly unfair to minorities. And so they're trying to raise money. 2 venues here if people want to help out. The first one, of course, is that they are, just give me a second here, I'm going to get the link to it very quickly. Come on, where's it at? There it is. Copy link. The first one, of course, is the Back a Buddy, which you can do if you'd like to help out, if you want to go there. Let me see if anybody's done the Back a Buddy since I mentioned it earlier today. Trying to raise 100,000 Rand on there. And no one else gave to it, but it's currently at 6,000 Rand to raise money for Giselle's treatment for the medication. And then there'll also be a concert on the 21st of April in South Africa. This will be in Pretoria East. You can get tickets for it. There's a link. I don't have the link. That's not what I wanted. Hang on a second here. Where the heck is? Sorry, my profile is set up differently on this than it is in the other. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. Giselle's message. So I can't do the Afrikaans, but Giselle is onlangs gediagnoseerd met lymfoomkanker. De medicijnkosten is ontzettend hoog en natuurlijk is behandeling dringend. So Giselle recently diagnosed with lymphoma. Medical expense is extremely high, and the treatment is urgent. She recently started touring again, doing concerts after COVID prevented her from working and earning income. She realized that she was extremely and strangely tired and also discovered a lump in her neck. Turns out she's discovered several lumps in her neck, unfortunately. After several traumatic tests, cancer was confirmed. A biopsy of the lymph glands was done, CAT scan and PET scan, bone marrow biopsy. Cancer's in her blood, her lymph glands, her bone marrow, and her spleen. Yeah, it is treatable. Therefore, it's urgent to start the treatment. So she begins her treatment here shortly, and we wish her well. If you want to contribute, there's the link. Did I put it on there? Let me see. I don't know if I did. No, I did not. There it is. There's the Hendo has put the link to the concert. You can buy a ticket. They're very inexpensive, folks. The early bird tickets are 150 Rand. I don't know what the total price is going to be later on. But a lot of people are buying tickets who can't go to the concert. They're going to donate it to someone. But just buy the ticket even if you can't go for sales. It's not just a concert, but it's a big deal. It's raising money for Giselle. Steve Hofmeyer is headlining the concert. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Steve Hofmeyer is going to headline that concert. Okay, 46 votes for the poll. And it's 41%. Seeing people saying I'm back on here. So 41% means about 20 of you are tuned in that didn't realize that I'm back. Thank you for joining us once again. I never left YouTube. People just didn't find me on the new channel. It was very frustrating. And for 2 years, YouTube has successfully hidden that channel. And the only time I really grow is when big events take place, when I appear on another channel and or someone promotes my channel. And most of those voters come from, not voters, most of those viewers come. Most of those who come from people promoting my channel are people coming when Ronaldo is promoting my channel. So I'm a thanks to Ronaldo. Shout out to him. Ronaldo Gos, the DA ward counselor in Nelson. I was getting a lot of South African viewers, South African and American viewers, and it was surging that channel. While I was in South Africa, it grew, and then I came back and just died. I'm not gaining any subscribers on that channel now. So my intent going forward is that I will use Liberty Ascendant to cover U.S. issues and geopolitical things. I will use Africa Matters to cover African issues, South Africa in particular, and also anything related to Trump because South Africans seem to enjoy Trump. So yeah, but now I've got to go switch back to Africa Matters where I have just 11,000 subscribers. It hasn't gone anywhere. Yeah, that's crazy. But for instance, the video I did yesterday on Africa Matters with 11,000 followers, I have 279 views on it. But I already have 279 views on the new channel for a video I just did 40 minutes ago. You see, that doesn't just, you don't just change. Here's 22,000, here's 42,000, here's 120,000. 23,000, 38,000, 52, 23,000. These are videos I had on that channel, and suddenly it's just crickets. How could I get involved in politics? I applied for a job at Freedom Front Plus and ACD, but no luck. I want to serve my community. Don't think I have the opportunity. Well, R1, you said you applied for a job. These political parties don't have a lot of paid positions in them. They take lots of volunteers. You can volunteer to get in politics, but if you want it as a career, you're going to have to work your way into a political party because of the system in South Africa before they will put you on a list and get you elected. The FBI released the manifesto. Did you see Alphabet Squad had an insurrection? I heard they did, but I haven't seen it. Are you talking about in Tennessee or Kentucky? Saw that we asked Russia for money to fix the Free State. Maybe. But yeah, R1, you know, I mean, maybe I'm inferring incorrectly from what you say, but what it says, it sounds like is you're trying to look for employment. These parties don't have many paid positions. So the ANC does, but they're not paying their people. So what you have to do is become a party member and become involved in politics and be known, attend events, be part of local things, and get your name known. That's how it happens. Yeah, same thing here in the States. I'm involved in the Northern York Republican Club, and I pay for membership there. I go to meetings there, but I'm not a local, and I also have positions that challenge the Republican Party frequently, so I'm not going to get any traction there. The Rainbow Squad went in. Oh, really? Okay. White people must sign. Yeah, I saw the ANC saying white people. Well, that's because they've abandoned white people by chasing them out with their racist policies. And now they're desperate for any voters. And so it just shows you the desperation of the ANC at this stage. That's what's going on there, folks. Yep. Anyway, there you have it. 49 likes. We can get to 50. Yeah, you read correctly. So what kind of work do volunteers do? Well, volunteers go out and help do campaigns to get people to register to vote. They also will help out on days when there's events that the party's trying to do to get a crowd there. They'll go to conferences, things like that. So if you live in Gauteng and you can attend the DA's national conference, which I think is probably limited to their 2,000 people that are delegates there, but if it's not, if it's open to the public, I would go there, meet some DA people, find people from your local area and you know, start engaging with them, or not DA or Freedom Front Plus or ACDP, which I'm sorry, I'm just throwing, you said ACDP and Freedom Front Plus. Yeah. No, R1, there aren't many positions. So for instance, Dr. Peter Hernevald, whom I meet all the time, when I'm in South Africa, and I've interviewed several times, he has a PA, but his PA, I think, is funded by the government because he's a member of parliament. So I don't even know that his PA is a member of the party. So political parties don't have a lot of paid positions normally. You can see they got handing over files about cadre deployment as instructed. Wow. Oh, they're not handing them over. Yeah. Yeah. Matthew Dixon thinks black land first is a good idea. Okay, Matthew. Yeah, the National Party tried to woo voters in 1993. Exactly right, Arctic. It's the exact same thing. I wonder if South African can become a card-carrying member of the Democrats. Well, I could be a member of AfriForum. I could be a member of the DA abroad, but I chose not to be a member of the DA abroad because it was inappropriate, in my view, for me to be that. Putin told the ANC to look after their white brothers as 99% of Russia is white. Maybe, RB. Welcome, RB. Good to see you there. Yeah, I don't know, but no, the ANC is desperate. Yeah, so that's what's going on. DA conferences invite only. There you go. Branch meetings are open. There you go, Arctic. Thank you. But I think he was asking about the ACDP and the Freedom Front Plus. And I'll tell you, listen, very quickly there for you, R1. If you live in a place where the ACDP and or the Freedom Front Plus have a low presence, very few people, that's a great opportunity. So for instance, if you live, I'm just going to pick a place, okay? There isn't much of a Freedom Front Plus presence probably in Zeerust. If you live in Zeerust, if you want to get involved with a party that has ideals that are similar to yours, like the Freedom Front Plus, ACDP, there may be a place like that. If you live there, it's a great place to get involved because there aren't many people. You could potentially become known and have an influence much quicker in a smaller. But I mean, if you live in Cape Town, rising to the top or getting attention is going to be difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. The EFF is very desperate. The EFF is on the decline and going to collapse. Price of vodka will drop in South Africa. Yep. You can, but you got to swim the Rio Grande. You're going to welcome Vlad. Well, he's going to escort him from the airport if need be, so that'll be entertaining to see Julius Malema try to escort. My area is full of rich snot noses who don't care for politics. Well, they're part of the problem, R1. They are part of the problem. They're not involved in politics, and they perpetuate a broken system. Anyway, all right, folks, I'm going to end the Night Owls here. Thank you all so much. I got other stuff to do. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow for rugby on Rugby Ascendant, for the news before that on Colonel Chris Wyatt. And if we do a Night Owls, it'll be a late one. I'm still waiting for the times to be confirmed for the rugby. I think they've been set now, but I've got to check on that. He can escort his... Exactly. Levin says, good thing you're sitting down. I actually saw posters in Santa yesterday recommending that people register to vote. Haven't seen anything this far in advance for voting. Yeah, well, there you go. I've been telling people this since 2020. And maybe people are listening. Maybe they're listening. Maybe they're listening. Anyway, folks, thanks a lot. Stay safe out there and take care of yourselves. Appreciate your support. Hit the like button if you haven't. We got over 50. That's awesome. And Night Owls, you'll find it here for now. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for your support. And we'll catch you here the next time. Now, this is a problem. My camera's in the wrong place. So I need to move my camera down so that I can just do the closing video right over top myself. Here we go. All right, now we got it. So it needs to go here. Actually, that's going to work like that. There we go. Okay, got it. Sorted out. Cheers, everybody. And this is a video I think Kevin put together for me a long time ago. Where's it at? Where'd it go? That's weird. Huh. Where's my closing video? It's not here. That is very strange. All right, well, I'll have to use the opening video to close. Sorry about that, folks. I'll sort it out later. What's going on here? Now that one's not working. Well, no closing video. Something's wrong with that. It's not finding them in my folder, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'll just wrap it up here, folks. That is really strange. Oh, wait. Oh, I know. It's there. It's there. Oh, that's why. Okay, it's there. Okay, my bad. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, I got it now, folks. What was that? Yeah, it's... okay. That's why. Okay, here we go. This camera's in the wrong place. There we go. Okay, now we'll do it. Closing video.